Today's movie is Triangle of Sadness, directed by Ruben Östlund. It's a drama comedy that got 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you haven't seen it, it's about a celebrity couple who have issues with each other, lack of communication. They get invited on a cruise for rich people, then get put in a castaway situation where they're trapped on an island. On this island, an unlikely leader arises, and they're forced to deal with this new social hierarchy.
We are going to cover many subjects: the plot, characters, acting, pacing, music, ending, cinematography, and whether it was worth it.
Alright, welcome back. What were your first thoughts on the movie?
My first thoughts, well, first thing getting into the theater, seeing the start, and you're kind of thrown into the male model scene. And I'm not a male model, so that was weird for me, seeing this situation.
100%.
You agree?
Yeah.
There's this one guy walking around interviewing all these people, and I don't know, it's just a weird scenario. I've never been interviewed for anything. I don't know what that would be like, how I would act, you know. And
it's like a day in the life of a male model.
Exactly, and they're all shirtless, which I also thought was weird.
But expected if you're in the modeling agency.
Yeah, it's a part of it. Yeah. And yeah, my first thoughts of the first scene was this is weird, and waiting for the movie to get rolling at that point. It was kind of more of an introduction onto their life. It was putting you in the setting of these rich people's life.
For sure.
Because this movie is about rich people, and it's really a social commentary.
100%.
About capitalism. The entire movie, it's always capitalism this, capitalism that, and it's bad. It's just represented in every scenario.
Yeah.
Every part.
What did you think about the movie being divided into 3 parts?
I thought it was interesting. You don't really see that often. And there was really 3 in the parts. There was 3 focuses on what they were covering in the parts. The first one was just our main characters, Yaya and Carl, and in the middle it was everyone on the cruise, and it was more comedy focused rather than drama focused like the first one. And then the last part 3 on the island, was again more drama focused, right? And that's how I saw it split up. That's what split it up, because in the middle there's lots of comedy there, lots of slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
Which was kind of surprising to see. You would think that would be highbrow, right? Because of the movie setting. Because it's set in the fancy life of people, you'd think it would be highbrow comedy, but no. It was just...
But it fit for the most part, I think. Yeah. I liked it.
It fit. You liked it, huh? It was hilarious. In the theaters, everyone was laughing there.
Yeah.
It was the environment there was... Everyone was laughing.
No, it
was funny. I just couldn't stop laughing in the middle part. If you haven't seen it, it's when everyone was barfing because they had a dinner, 5-course dinner or whatever.
It was a sickening scene, like
while the ship is rocking around, right? And you just know it's not going to go well.
Yeah.
The captain, played by Woody Harrelson, who is barely in the movie. He's just in it to get that big name. Is why he was there. They didn't have him in the movie much because
maybe 20 minutes during the dinner?
Yeah, he was not an important character. I thought he was going to be more important.
Yeah, me too.
I thought he was going to survive to live on the island.
No, he was drunk, man. I guess the other guy was drunk too, but...
Yeah, and he made it. So, I don't know. They really just selected characters they wanted and put them on the island. I mean, the lady who couldn't talk and was paralyzed survived. So,
I mean, I think that was smart. She sort of played a role like the weaker of the few on the island. I liked that part.
Did you like her character? Like,
I thought it was kind of weird. Like, I'd never really seen any case scenario of a stroke where you can only say one phrase. But I don't. It's interesting. Different.
One phrase and one word. 9.
Yeah. No, she said yes a couple times too.
Oh, okay.
She could say yes, no, and in the clouds.
Not very useful, especially because it's not even English. But she can understand people, which is good.
Well, it looked like she was saying it with different intensities, which meant different things there. Which is kind of cool.
I want to talk about, was it worth it to watch this movie? Was it worth your, whatever amount you paid and
And your time.
your time? Exactly. Was it worth that?
Well, I'd have to say yes. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good watch.
Would you say it's worth it?
I would also say it's worth it. It was really funny. I had a good time watching it.
It was a fun movie.
It was definitely a fun movie, and there's only like a few groups of people who wouldn't like it. I feel like if you were really rich, you might not want to watch that movie.
It wasn't even poking fun at rich people, though. It was just... I guess they could... I don't know. I guess so.
You guess they might not want to watch it. And if you had one word to describe this movie,
Mm-hmm.
what would you describe it? What's your one word to describe this movie? I have a few one words, but I think one of them is just above them all.
Yeah, well, what's that? You tell me first.
Okay, so it's going to be greed. It just has to be greed. Everyone is greedy, the social commentary on capitalism, and it's just people being greedy.
Mm-hmm.
You start out, and in the first part, the most notable scene being the dinner.
Where they're arguing, yeah.
Where they're arguing about money, paying the check at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the meal.
So you think that's actually about greed? Because both of them say multiple times, yo, this is not about the money.
Yeah.
But you think it's about greed.
It is about greed. I don't have issues with that myself. It was kind of really awkward to watch that because you can't really tell how long they've been dating.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that it's like a first date.
No, I think they've been dating a while.
But they've been dating a while. It was just very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Just at the stage at which it appeared in their relationship. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't want to just adhere to gender roles.
Right.
And I don't know if it had too much to do with money, because she did make more than him. But...
yeah. It was about the gender roles. But yeah, the one word is greed. And then coming again to the second part, you meet all these really rich people, and the Russian lady, she's greedy. I don't know, everyone's just greedy.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the third part, you get to
the island.
The island.
And you can really see greed.
You can really see greed in Abigail's character. She becomes really greedy.
Well, I think they're all greedy. They all... I mean, Abigail kind of came and ruled over them. But if that didn't happen, they'd all be fighting for everything until everything was gone, I think.
Right, and if Abigail wasn't there, they would have died on an island.
Likely, yes.
Where there was a premium resort.
Like just over the rock.
Just over the rock. And that brings us to the ending. What did you think happened? Did she kill her? Did they get off the island? Who survived? All these things. There's so many questions. Did Carl make it there?
Well, there's lots of questions, but there's lots of possibilities too.
What's your favorite one? I think you have to stick with one. You can't say there's 5 possibilities and it could be all of them.
True.
You have to pick one and think what happened.
I can have a favorite one, and then there can be a most likely one. So I'm going to go with the most likely one.
Okay.
So I think Abigail did kill Yaya.
Okay.
Over the head with a rock, dead.
Like the donkey.
Like the donkey, exactly.
I was watching a video of the people from the movie doing, like a presentation, not a presentation, but a forum where they talk to the fans, and Abigail's actor said that's what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that in her opinion. So
yeah, because we still don't know for sure. Okay,
that's what she said.
And then I think Carl sort of got a gist of what's happening. Like, yo, Abigail really has no reason not to kill Yaya. Yaya's the only thing in the way. Yaya's the only conflict on the island right now. So, and he doesn't want that to happen, obviously. So he, on his own will, decides to run, catch up to them, and see what's going on.
Right.
I don't think he heard anything. I don't think they came back.
What does Abigail plan to get out of it? I mean, she kills Yaya, and then she can't go back alone, and then everyone knows she killed her.
I don't think that even matters. I think she could literally outright say, I killed Yaya, we're going back to normal. Like... She's already taken this dude for sex, which is atrocious to begin with.
Yeah.
But I think what she probably said, she probably met Carl halfway back and said, Yaya had a fall. She died. I'm sorry. Carl would have been sad.
And so
They
you
would've
think
gone
she would have
back.
kept them on the island and not
100%.
'cause-
150%.
Why?
Because she's everything to lose by going back to society. Right now she's in charge. Right now she's the only one who supplies for them. Right now she's banging this dude.
But even at the bottom of society, your life would be better not living on an island, I think.
I'd say more comfortable, but for her, not better.
She
I think,
liked the power.
I think she's loving what's going on right now.
She liked the powers, what
Yeah.
you say. Okay.
100%.
Hmm.
What's your ending?
My ending?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to say that I'm very optimistic. I say she doesn't kill her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her saying that, you know, I can help you when we get back. I think that strikes a chord with her, and she...
Well, it shows her hesitate.
Yeah, her
She's crying, she's hesitating, she's holding the rock down low. She's not about to hit her.
So I think she stops, and she doesn't kill her. Carl gets there. They find the entrance, you know, the elevator, which is a weird elevator. And
It's sick, yeah. Just a big resort in the rocks.
it was really just, it represented a gateway to freedom.
Yeah.
Gateway to society is what that elevator represented.
And when the doors open and you can hear the music, it's so close but so far away.
Yeah. And then they go back, you know, or maybe they just go in, tell people that, you know, a cruise ship crashed. I don't know why you guys didn't do anything. You know, there was no search parties. You know, I think that's where the movie falls short, is the amount of people looking for them.
I mean, if the cruise was supposed to go another week, and they'd been on the island 6 days, 8 days, I don't think they'd be searching yet.
But they didn't send out a mayday, you know.
No, that's the thing. They didn't send anything out.
You can track ships, though. There's websites that you can track ships. At the end of the day, it's really all the captain's fault. Woody Harrelson screws everybody over. Like, man, he has the captain's cruise on the bad day, and they get raided. That part he couldn't control.
Yeah. Hear me out. All that's fine. Say the captain chose Wednesday. The captain's dinner went great, and they all went to their different places for dinner on Thursday. They still all would have been sick because of the tossing and turning. They still would have been bombed by the pirates.
The guards would have been more alert. They were distracted, I feel.
Because of the waves.
No, just from everything happening.
Like the swimming and stuff?
Earlier that day, yeah, the swimming. And...
Well, I mean, that... Yeah.
You know, I thought when they went swimming, then the ship was going to crash, and all the rich people were going to be, you know, left alone.
On the ship?
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
And so it would have been just them. You know, they kind of got the same scenario where just a bunch of rich people are put on an island.
Yeah.
And they're all useless.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really know how to survive, you know. It's good to know how to survive, at least somewhat. I mean, Abigail was really good. She could catch fish with her hands, I mean.
What did you think of the cinematography of this movie?
I thought that the director, Ruben Östlund, had a very Wes Anderson style to him. It wasn't that, the proportions on the camera were balanced. You know, if you haven't seen any of his movies, you know, he shows things and, you know, you have one person standing here, 2, 3, and the center is on the middle person, right? And it's balanced, and everyone's the same height, and they get taller, maybe. And everything's just balanced on each one side. And there's a lot of still shots, a lot of very far out shots, you know, and it's just still. And that's his style, and I think he took a bit of inspiration from that.
I noticed that too.
I think the director is a good director, a very high class director, you know, good for this style of movie.
Mm-hmm. A little bit abstract.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I remember some scenes where they were focused on one person, slightly less relevant, and the conversation or the subject of the scene would walk past them, enter the frame for a bit, then leave the frame.
Right.
That was super creative. I liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
And he had some slow pans, and like the car was on Yaya, and slowly panned over to him while he was thinking, you know. So we're kind of in his mind, you know, he's just in this space thinking, and we're passing through space.
What was cool about that scene is as their argument got more and more heated, the pan of the camera was faster and faster back and forth.
Was it?
Oh, I loved that, yeah.
Huh. So it just showed a faster retort between them.
Mm-hmm. It's like the back and forth sped up.
Huh.
Yeah.
And it just maybe showed how fast they were thinking about things rather than taking more time.
Mm-hmm. Well, things were gradually heating up from the restaurant to the hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
about greed.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, why do you think they struggle with communication so much?
cause I don't. That's a good question. I have to give you that. Um, I think it's because they're both influencers. They're both selfish people.
Yes, I agree with you.
I think at a nature to be an influencer like that, a model, you have to be selfish,
Mm-hmm.
and that comes into their relationship,
Yeah.
and it's shown.
Well, I think they just lack so many communication skills from always being on their phone, always thinking about their self-image.
Yeah, they're so dysfunctional,
Yeah.
just astronomically dysfunctional.
It was tough to watch those first three-ish conversations between them.
They just, yeah. And Yaya's, reaction to all things was just to laugh, have her mouth open and go, and pretend it's not happening and laugh it off and avoid it.
When Yaya said she was a super selfish person, I think she said that, yeah, in the hotel.
She even said that, so
yeah,
there's that too.
It was like, at least she's big enough to understand what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, her character is just avoiding, manipulative, as she even said. She said she was manipulative.
Exactly. Yeah,
she said she was selfish. So these things are backed up by what Yaya thinks of herself.
Yeah.
Her character, or her actor, Charby Dean Kirk.
Something like that, yeah.
She passed away recently.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that.
Super
I
sad.
saw that. We saw it independently, and then we talked about it.
Yeah.
Very shocking. Died of an unexpected illness. It's unfortunate, just getting into a good movie here, and
Just 30 years old or something.
yeah,
Pretty young.
Too young to pass. So,
Rip.
what were your thoughts about the music?
Yeah, the one song on the ship I really liked. I think it's called Lady.
Yeah, I've heard it on TikTok. I remembered it.
I think it's called Lady. When they're all sitting around the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's a good song.
the one tech guy goes up to them and takes a picture.
That's such a nice scene. Actually, I like it.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
The guys
rich people
watching.
bonding with each other. That was good. I also like the song when the guy's running through the bush at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, that was a good
It's
song too.
it's a hopeful song. He's running towards not so hopefulness.
Just bad things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that. Yeah, I like the music. It was relevant, and then there's the classical music all the time, showing the high class.
Mm-hmm.
When the director wanted you to think about high class things, it was the classical music and their fine dining and all these things. But then when things are going bad at the end of the movie and they're not in the high class anymore, it's kind of more of a irrelevant music and kind of not classical.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything but.
What did you think about the pacing?
I thought, this is another place where the movie falls a bit short, is the pacing. In that it was really slow. I felt the movie was a bit too long. I felt like...
Well, it was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I felt like they spent too much time on the slapstick, everyone's vomiting everywhere part of the movie.
How long was that scene? 10 minutes?
It was a long time of people, vomiting around, and
yeah.
I guess it's just showing chaos, coming about and just wreaking havoc, just chaos everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's going right.
Yeah, the one scene there when they're just outside the dining room. There's crashing going on, the boat's tossing and turning, bodies everywhere, the baby's crying, a phone's ringing. It's just chaos.
I guess that baby died.
Yeah. A lot of people died.
A lot of people died.
Mm-hmm.
Poor baby. Yeah. I just thought it was slow. In my opinion.
Yeah. But the attention to detail was there, so.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't bored during the film. I didn't feel like it was too slow.
Okay, so you thought it was fine.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was good.
We always talk about the Rotten Tomatoes. Was this movie accurate, getting a 71%? Mm-hmm. Higher, lower? Where do you think it lies?
I would have to say higher, 100%. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was... I don't know. I don't see where it lost the 30%, to be honest. I'm not trying to give it 100%
Okay.
whatsoever.
That's
But
That's
I'd
a
say
lot.
like 90% is fair. There was no.
Really?
I don't think there was an issue with the movie. It was just a creative way to film.
right.
What would you give it?
I would think the 70 is accurate. I think the shortcomings in the pacing, like I've said,
Mm-hmm.
and the character development, which fell off in the middle, and those things were big enough to bring it down to 30%. You know, the lack of character development that just is missing for the middle part 2. There was no character development really.
Not at all.
And I think that is important. You need to have consistent character growth. All they had was at the beginning and the end. And
I sort of liked meeting the other rich people through the rich couple that we were following. I thought that was cool.
right.
So as they met them, we also met them.
Right.
There's no backstory.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think that's going to do it. I think we covered it all.
Yep.
You know, consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribing, and go down, leave a comment of your favorite, character, maybe scene or favorite song, and we'll, get back to you. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, go check out our channel.